welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. I am going to try a little bit of a different intro to my video. I don't know if you prefer that or not, but give me some feedback. But this is me. I have pre-mixed my paint area here. Well, should I say I've chosen my pigments and the colour schemes, and as usual you can see an array of cups, but what I am going to do is stick to a few solid colours, which are greens. I'm going to work on what I feel is grass and a few little flowers popping up. Springtime here. I'm feeling a little bit inspired, and every so often I do get brought back to the greens, and I seem to be in that phase. I have put a lot of colours away, which is a really big growth for me, but I am going to be using a red, a flamingo, a purple and a yellow, which are going to be my little bits of flowers. The rest is just going to be gradients of grass, so I'm hoping that you're going to get a sense of movement, a sense of depth, and that you'll connect with it. But as with resin, you may have an idea in mind, may not work out that way, but I am just trying to channel one idea. I'm going to be working on two pieces, one that I did try the other day which failed, and it failed because I put them in the wrong order in a flip cup, and I used too much white, so it diluted the colour and made it quite washed out. And the principle's nice and I will show you, but it's not something that I'm going to keep. And I'm also going to be working on this, and this was one of my I think it was my second attempt at resin art ever, not just my YouTube videos but ever. And I tried using resin blast and I didn't understand what that meant, and by using a whiteboard behind, it created these craters here which show you the board. But I actually love a lot of the image, so I have sanded it all down, and I'm going to just try and add a little bit of bright colour here and blend it and see if I can rescue this piece, because I kept it and I never wanted to throw it away. And this down here is the piece that I'm going to be working. So they are all sanded down, they are all prepared, and we're going to do this, and hopefully it's a positive day in the studio. So while I mix the colours up and pour out my resin, I won't bore you, but I will hopefully capture everything, and I will try and think out loud for you along that process. But let me know if you prefer these kind of intros. If you want to see a little bit of my studio, I'm happy to show you some of the pieces that I never actually captured in videos. There's other pieces here, but there is also some of my oil paintings as well that I've worked on. Not too sure if you're going to get this in view. Doing this a little bit blind. So I do have a varied style, and I believe you have already seen Faye over there, my peacock, peacock queen. So I'm going to put this down, get on with it, and let's have a great day creating. Okay, so all the bits are covered. Let me apply my heat gun and see what that wants to do. Just trying to work out what's going on there, but let's see what I can do, if I can create some. It just seems to be getting, see that? Bald spots there. Don't know what the correct terminology is, but that's not good. There are parts where it's just not gripping to, and I thought I'd done everything correct. I applied soft sandpaper so it's got something to grip. I rubbed off all the excess silicone or fluid or whatever was created by that resin blast. Maybe it's because it is just clear I've put, it's confusing it a little bit. But I don't want to waste all my time on this, because this was just, if I could salvage it, it would be amazing, but if not, I'm happy with that. But I don't want to waste all the resin that I've done for the other pieces. Turning into much of nothingness. I should have just left it with the little swirls, but I do need to keep that red. So I am not going to waste any more on this. Oh, need to keep that for my flowers. But I am mindful. Why are you not sticking? I said I was going to leave it, and look, I'm still here working on it. Covering up some of the stuff I wanted to keep. Seems to be leaning the wrong ways. I might be able to apply if I've got some left of the other colours. I really am trying to leave it. I don't know if anybody else has the problem. They say they're going to do something, but then they are just fixated with it. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I think it's a thumbs down. I don't think I've managed to salvage it, but it ain't over until it's over. So let's get on with the main project, which is my grass. But I am going to need to, wow, what happened there? I am going to make sure my gloves are clean, so do not want to contaminate with the red just yet. I just like really nice greens, trying to get some textures. Alright, my red is off my fingers, let's go. So let's apply my green, very solid green. I've not added anything other than 1 drop of blue. The colours I am using is Easy Cast Composites. I've got yellow pigment, green and blue. And then I am using Perlex Cadmium, I can't say that, Reflex by Flamingo Pink. And I also have a Spring Green and Apple Green. And I am using Mastercast 1+1, but let's get the base. I'm hoping I've got it so that it's not going to be too transparent and bring all that colour through, but sometimes it's not disastrous if you do get it through. It gives a little bit of texture or movement behind it, or a bit of curiosity. I think what I'm going to do is just apply a colour at a time, get the bubbles out, spread it around. This is probably going to need to be more towards the top because I'm going to be bringing my lighter greens through. I'll leave that there. See, already got resin everywhere. Move this around a little bit. Try and probably get this more towards the top. Some people like the fingers. I don't really like it 100% when it comes to resin. It just makes it feel like tacky. But we will see. I might end up getting it in there. Okay, so I'm getting most of the darks up here. Not to worry about the gaps at the minute because I know I've got lots of resin to come. But I am wanting to try and get some of that at the top. Let's hope my red doesn't go in there. Alright, so let's now go with the slightly lighter green but of the same family, so the tone should be lovely together. Bring that down a little bit more here. Yeah, you can just see that subtle colour. You may not be able to see it there, I do apologise. But when I bring you in at the end, you'll get to see it. I haven't found a perfect place for my camera yet, or should I say my phone, while I'm doing this, so that I can capture it all and still work. One day I'll have the perfect setup. Just leave that there for a little bit, see if I can get any more colours. I am going to want to keep one of the sticks for... I seem to be having a messy day in the studio today. That's okay. Alright, let me try and add the other green slightly further down. And I need to wait for it to start going slightly off, so that as I put my brush stick through it, you start to see some of the strokes that I'm applying, and it stays there defined, as opposed to while it's so hot and fluidy from me just applying the heat gun. But you need to do that to help with the air bubbles and help with the flow. It's starting to cool off now from when I put the heat gun on it, so let's keep these different bits of movement happening. I will need to put some flowers on at some stage and then get a few flicks of grass going over it, so I've kept a little bit of green back to help me. So I've gone from using my pigment, yellow, green, blue from Easy Composite, and now I'm just going to start to add a little bit of the Pearl-X, and that's going to be my spring green and apple green. I'm hoping that's going to give a nice little sparkle, so I'll start with, it is lighter than this, got a little bit of brown in there, but a lighter green, so I'm just going to apply it a little bit and see what happens and if I'm happy with that, because I don't want it to necessarily destroy the feel of what I've got here, but it's probably going to blend in nicer, so I might just try doing this to start with, and then I can use my brush to, on my stick, call it brush because I'm used to the oil painting. I do apologise when my sentences stop part way through, it's because I'm thinking about what I'm doing and I find it hard to talk, so I'm just going to add a little bit here, but I am going to put some up here as well, so again adding movement but hopefully adding a little bit of depth, and this should start bringing some things into the foreground. And the washing machine's telling me it wants to get washed now. No, put the washing out. Welcome to Sharon. Be interesting to see how this sets. Will this sink to the bottom? Will it go to the top? Will it just add that nice little bit of shimmer? Just might add a nice little bit of character. Having been used to working with oils, as I've said before in my videos, I'm trying to see if I can manipulate resin to a degree to get an image that I would work with normally with oils, or if that's an impossible task and it's more just going to be about a feeling you can create. Doing a similar kind of stroke I would do with my stick, but just trying to do it directly from here because I need a lot of lightness, gentle, and foreground, and just trying to think perspective. I like the fact that my corners are dark because that brings your eye in, and I like the fact that it's quite, the lines I'm doing are quite delicate. And again, I'll push this through with my stick and try and create the equivalent of my brush strokes I would normally do. Try not to blend it in too much though, because I want to keep the lightness here. So what I might do now is try a tiny little bit of the colours, because I'm happy with what that looks like here, just to resemble flowers, and then try and drag a bit more of the grass over it. But we shall see. So this is the one where I have got to go quite, I'm going to work out, I'm going to do a little dot. And I think I'm just going to do dots to start with. And then I'll go back and see whether I want to add a little feature with that. So I actually want to see, is it going to sink? Is it going to stay? It's like working on jewellery again, the detail. Oh, a tiny little bit of line there, but I can get rid of that, that's alright. See, that jewellery making skills came in handy. Call myself skills, only tried it twice. It doesn't necessarily look like it's going to work because it's just absorbing into the green, which kind of makes sense. But maybe they'll be like the blurred ones in the background. Off quite nicely now, but means my working window is getting less and less. Okay, so what I want to do now is drag some more blades of grass through, and then if I need to highlight the flowers with a bright bit of colour, I'll come in right at the end and do that. to the flowers, and then I'm going to dump all my colours here and blast it with a gun and see what happens. Alright, I'm going to clean my hands and bring you in for a look at the one that has worked. And I'll check the edges, everything like that, and then put it to sleep and tidy up a little bit of the mess here, but I will bring you in closer. So again, I've just literally finished this. It's very wet and I apologise for the reflection, but I will try and show you. So hopefully you get the feeling of nature, grass, flowers, woodlands, fairies, whatever word, but there are some beautiful, I think, depth in there with the darkness and the lightness. It's still resin, so it's going to do what it wants to do for a little while and blend in, but ultimately I actually really like this. So I'm just trying to angle my camera so you can see some of the depth. Some of the different colours. There you go. Make it feel more like a flower. Whatever flower of resin art looks like. And just there with the red as well. Looks quite nice. Quite like those ones as they are, they're sort of hidden behind. That one as well, hidden behind that grass. That's a cute little one there, look. Okay, so I have managed to find, I think, somewhere that is stopping the glare, so you can get a better look at the depth, the movement and the colour choices. So hopefully you get to see it and hopefully you're inspired.